Good morning. I thought before I started work this morning I would do a recap of my week, my last weekend especially. Um, this is the life with Gran, um, and this particular day is Friday, November 14th, the day after the government opened back up again. So hopefully everyone is getting paid and getting their um, benefits that they need to survive. Um, so to recap my week, life with Gran, I did have the grandkids last weekend, and we had so much fun. Oh my goodness, they come over. It was supposed to be a rainy day, so we decided we were just going to stay in and not do anything, and which is what we did. We mainly just laid around and were lazy. I made some hot dogs for lunch and chili, but about oh gosh, I guess about 7 o'clock, Lucy come in here and said, "I'm bored." It used to, when they were younger, I had a boredom jar. So when they would first come over to my house, we would start thinking of things that we could do if we got bored. And they would put some things in, and I would put some things in. Of course, their things looked like have ice cream or play a card game, and my stuff said, "Oh, let's vacuum, let's make beds, let's dust." so they, they really didn't want to pick the ones that I put in there for, but we had a lot of fun with that, and we called it the boredom jar or the boredom bowl. It was actually a bowl, but Lucy said I'm bored, so I said, "Well, let's play a game. Let's play a game. Go in there and pick a game, a card game or a board game." So she came back in with the Uno cards. Oh my goodness! If you have not played Uno with your adult grandchildren, you need to do that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this light out from reflecting on my glasses. We had the best conversations. Um, Loki and Kingston cheated. They would sit there and whisper to each other or show each other cards when they wanted to determine their colors. It was like them against me and Lucy. It took us a minute to catch on to what they were doing, but we finally did. But it was hilarious. It was hilarious. We had some good conversation. We laughed until I thought Lucy was going to pass out because she wasn't breathing. She was laughing so hard, and Loki started snorting. So it was hilarious. And Kingston, man, Kingston, I love him. He is such an instigator, though. That man, young man, uh, is sneaky. Is sneaky. He won't let you know what's going on. He keeps that poker face going on. So yeah, him and Loki are really good about sneaking around about things like that. Lucy and I, not so much. But it was so much fun. So I do want to invite you to play Uno with your grandkids or any card game that's fun like that. Um, Phase 10, I wouldn't advise. Phase 10 gets frustrating. That I feel that's more for adults. But if you just want to have fun, Skip-Bo or Uno, those are so much fun. Um, you want to see how intelligent your kids are, your grandkids are. Well, my light went out. Oh well, there was that. Um, Play a trivia game with them. We've got a I've got a couple back there, and these kids are smarter than we give them credit for. Some of the things that I knew were my generation, I didn't think that they would know the answers to. But undoubtedly, Gen X is back in style, whether this generation wants to agree with it or not. I had to have a sip of my coffee. And then we had a lot of work things come up this week. Um, and I had some medical things come up this week. I made an appointment to see my orthopedist again. I have what is called a ganglion cyst on my finger. Um, and I went to the orthopedist a month ago and they drained it. But it came back with a vengeance and it came back angry. Um, and this morning, as I was back there getting prepared to go to work, do a training today. Sorry, I'm looking at it. It's icky. Um, it ruptured on its own, but it did not go away. I've tried It's got a hearted. You want to see it? Warning, it is gross. It's a little gross, so if you don't want to see it, you might want to close your eyes until I say it's over. Also, don't be offended because it's on my middle finger. Uh, it was a huge old knot, but it ruptured. Now it's got like a hole in the center of it, and nothing else is coming out of it, although I'm trying. I'm afraid. Okay, I've already showed it, so if you want to look again, you can. I've um, I'm gonna make an appointment with my orthopedist. I got to see him. I think it's next week. Yeah, I think it's next week, or maybe week after next. Week after next. Um, and I have a feeling we're going to be talking surgery. It keeps returning and keeps getting larger and becomes more painful. That middle finger, I had carpal tunnel surgery during COVID, during the first year of COVID. Um, and, my left hand did great, fantastic, no more pain. My right hand, no more pain. Okay, but these three fingers are numb. Ooh, and that one's turning. These three fingers are numb. So when I say that thing hurt, it hurt on a numb finger. So it hurt. I can't imagine how much it would have hurt had that finger not been numb. So I've got that to look forward to. I've got another training with Leanne, my friend and coworker. I probably shouldn't have said her name today. That I'm really looking forward to. It's a motivational interviewing, and in the field that I work in behavioral health and substance use. And motivational interviewing is a great tool to use. But even if you don't work in this field, motivational interviewing is a great tool. Again, I'd like to invite parents and grandparents to look into that, investigate that a little bit. William R. Miller wrote a book, and it's been edited and revised several times, but he wrote a book on motivational interviewing and evoking change talk and motivation to change, and it's a great tool. Ever since I've learned it, and I continue to learn more about it, I use it with my grandchildren. It's about asking open-ended questions. It's not about telling people what to do, but because people know what to do, but letting them think about these things. I wish I'd known it years ago with my children. But it's a great tool, asking those open-ended questions instead of, how was school today? What was the best thing about your day today? And it evokes more conversation. And then using some tools for change talk. When a kid says, I don't know what to do about this, well, okay, what would that look like? What would that look like if you made a change? What would the change look like? What can you do better? What are the barriers? Questions like that. So I do invite you to investigate that more. I think it will improve the conversation with your children and grandchildren, because it did improve mine. It did improve the conversation I have with my children and grandchildren. I think it's improved our relationship. So I do encourage that. I was doing a vlog challenge last time, and as you can tell, I got a little behind since it's been a while since I posted. But one of the questions for day 13 was, if I won the lottery, what would I do? And I have had this dream for ever. I mean, ever. Since my kids were teenagers. If I won the lottery, I would like to buy a large piece of property. And I would like for it to have like a main house with a large dining room, a large kitchen, a large entertainment room, a large living room, just a couple of bedrooms. And then have surrounding houses for my children and grandchildren, a compound. I call it the Emmert compound, so that we don't live on top of each other, but we live close by. I would love that. To build that up. I would love that, to give my children responsibilities on there, because I feel that if you just hand people things, they begin to expect things. So to help them earn them. So if I gave them a house on my property, give them a responsibility of maintaining keeping the landscaping up, or if we have animals, taking care of the animals, things like that. Um, that everybody has a job to pitch in. I know that sounds like a commune, but when it's family, it's okay, right? Right? If it's a family, it's okay to have a commune. I might want to rethink that. I mean, that's just communal living, right? There's no control, right? Anyway, that's what I'd like to do if I won the lottery. Just make sure that my children were had property uh, on on that big piece of land, and make sure they had ownership of their little land, and they were responsible for helping to maintain that and keep that up, so that they had something to leave their children. My mother always said, "Never sell the land, never sell the land." And the one time that she did sell her land, she sold it to family. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Never sell the land, because it's always, whether it's valuable now or not, it will be. It will be the way cities are expanding now. What would you do? What would you do? What would be the first thing you did if you won the lottery? I've got to tell you, the first thing that I would do is I would buy myself a new car, and I would buy my two sons a new car, and I would buy my three grandchildren new cars. My four grandchildren new cars. I always leave the bonus granddaughter out. I would buy Luna a new car. So everybody would have cars. Well, I'd buy Luna a new car and Lucy a new car when they got old enough to drive. Loki and Kingston are. But yeah, that's the first thing I would do. I want to make sure everybody has safe, reliable transportation. And then I'd look into that property. And of course, then I would invest some of it into my retirement, because I mean, as young as I look, I'm not getting any younger. And I would also like to invest in grants, uh, for mental health care, for substance use care, for co-occurring disorders of mental health and substance use, to invest in a way to create grants for that, and a way to monitor how that grant money is being spent. There are some great things out there that are being done. There are some great ideas of some things people want to do. There's also a lot of fraud going on out there, because people are seeing what they think of as easy money. So I'd want to make sure the grant money was used appropriately. But yeah, I'd like to see, gosh, that better be a big lottery I'm winning, because I'm wanting to do a lot of things with it. If you feel like it, share with me in the comments on what you do if you won the lottery. What's the first thing you do, and what would you like to see your long-term goals look like? Well, thank you for listening. Wrapping up, I think we're going to talk. We're going to spend some time with our grandchildren, playing a fun game. You get a lot of good conversation out of it, a lot of good laughs, learn a lot about each other. And then I'm going to, keep you updated on this ugly. This is not the ugly side. On this ugly thing. See, it's even turned my finger. Keep you updated on that. And also dreaming about winning the lottery. Of course, you have to play to win, and I don't play, so I guess I'm never going to win. But yeah. I've got another one on the list about my tattoos. I think I'll take pictures of my tattoos and show them to you. I have several. Not a sleeve or anything, but I have several, and I'm wanting to get more. I'm enjoying them more than I ever thought. I remember telling my kids when they were younger, it's a waste of money. It's a waste of money. But now I see, I enjoy them. I'd always said I would only put. Well, we'll talk about tattoos later. I'm going to get into that topic now, and I've got to get ready. I have to get ready for work. I've got to go to work in about 20 minutes. So yeah, thanks for listening. We'll catch up next time.